Hi and welcome back to my channel once again. I'm Marty and today I want to show you the new Logic Vintage EQ series. Those are 3 EQs actually, and we're gonna have a look at all of them. Gonna separate it into 3 different videos, and the first one is actually here, the Vintage Console EQ. As you can see, I already dialed in some settings here. We're gonna compare it to the Waves Scheps 73, which is obviously also a Neve style EQ. You got basically the same settings here. You got the low cut with the same settings, 300, 160, 80 and 50, and also here on the Logic one. Same is here on the low gain frequency, 20, 220, 110, 60 and 35, here the same. And also on the mid frequency, and you got also a high frequency knob with 12,000 Hertz, same here on the Scheps EQ. The difference here is now that you can choose, for example, here on the output model, you can change the output kind of like drive from Silky, which is the tube EQ, the graphic EQ, and here the console EQ, which is the Neve style EQ. So we're gonna leave it like that. And here with the drive knob, it's a little bit different than on the Waves Scheps. Here they modeled kind of like the original setting. For example, you got the line preamp gain stages and here are the mic ones. So it's probably not quite the same as far as the saturation goes, but I went here kind of like with a setting of 5. And I also went here kind of like up into the, or halfway up before we go to 80. So it's here on 35. And the settings, as you can see, are really the same. I got 3 here on 12,000 Hertz and also 3 here on the Logic one. And the same goes here for the mid frequency and lower frequency and the low cut of 80, here low cut of 80. And basically the input and output, just leave it like that here also on the volume. And let's have a listen now to the guitar. Let's listen to the Logic one first without and then with the Logic one so you can hear how that sounds. All right. Let's bring it in. Quite a difference. Again without. So I dialed in kind of like the settings that I would normally use on an acoustic guitar, and now I'm gonna switch between the Logic Console EQ, which is the track here, and the Waves one. Loaded here the Waves plug-in. Gonna switch between those two so you can compare how they sound. All right, so we're gonna start off with the Logic one. All right, so they really do sound pretty much the same. They are really comparable to each other. So let's see what the drive setting is doing. So let's really emphasize that and go all the way up. Same here. See how that works out. So maybe the wave sounds a little smoother as far as the top end goes, but overall there's not really that much difference. So let's maybe tile that once again back, maybe around here and also here. And let's try to really overdo it with the high frequency. Let's go about to 10 dB here, also here. And let's see how the EQ is doing when we really overdo it. Maybe let's go on the lower frequency. Well, just for the heck of it, let's boost the low frequencies here, just to make sure how that sounds, +4, and the same here. All right, so let's begin again with the Logic EQ. Okay, I hear that the waves is a little bit more forgiving as far as the top end goes. It sounds quite a bit smoother when you really push it. But overall, I can say that the vintage console EQ from Logic, as it comes free with Logic, so it's now built in the latest update, is really a great plugin. They did quite a good simulation of the Neve EQ here. So it's really comparable to the Waves version. However, if you want to push it, especially for example with the drive setting, I tend to use the waves, or I tend to favor the waves a little more in terms of kind of like saturation and high-end detail. Sounds a little bit smoother there. But overall, great EQ from Logic, the vintage console EQ. Hope you kind of like this short comparison, and so you can make up your mind what you want to prefer and use. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you liked the video. As always, happy recordings and see you next time.